Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You already know the deal. We back with a tutorial video, but today I'm gonna be showing y'all how I make emotional heartbreak beats for Lil Tjay and Raw Wave. And with all that said, let's get into the video. Alright, so this is how the melody sounds with all the components. Alright, so the first thing we got in here is the guitar, and it's an Ample Guitar Lite 2 guitar. It's a stereo 1 preset. I did nothing else to it, just put on stereo 1, and this is basically how the guitar sounds alone. Alright, so all I did is I went from the progression of A, F, C, and then G. So I just created an A minor chord, which is A, C, E, and then I inverted the C up an octave, and I put it after the E. So I went A, E, C, and I did that with all the other chords, and then which is the F minor, C, and then G. And then that's all I did for the progression of the guitar. And then for the effects that I added on it was a parametric EQ, taking out some of the harsh frequencies towards the mid to highs. I softened up a bit of the highs as well, and then I took out some of the low end. Then I added a Valhalla vintage verb. I put it on the color now preset on the ambience mode, and I turned it down to 16.8% mix, and I turned the decay down to 2.04 seconds. And then I just messed around with this knob right here for the mix level, and I turned it down to 65%. Then I added a fruity delay, and as always I used a ping pong preset, and then I put this one down to 11.5% wetness. And then I also went onto the effects tab over here, and I turned it down to 77% mix. Alright, so then I added piano to fill up more room for the guitar, and then I basically just added the same exact chords. So A, F, C, G, and then for the first 8 measures I did not invert the middle chord. I just kept the middle note the same. So A, C, E, F, A, C, C, E, G, G, B, D, and then from there I just highlight all of the bottom notes for each chord, go back to my pencil, shift click, and then transpose it down an octave so that I can add some low notes. And then going into the next 8 measures, going from measures 9 through 16, I did invert the middle note. And then I forgot to mention, it was the Labs piano, all on these presets over here, just the soft piano. And then I added a little piano runs as well, the same exact Labs piano. And then this is how it sounds like. Alright, so all I did was I had a little melody in my head, and when you don't have like a melody, just start clicking through the scale, see what sounds good or not. And then basically, so I start off with a G, F, go down to the E, I go back up to an F, but this is what we call a grace note. So I basically took the F note and then I extended it down as short as I could, and then I added a B right next to it, and then a C. So those, I like when I make emotional piano melodies, it's really good for you to use grace notes because it really makes more of an emotional feel, and it goes really well with the guitar as well. So yeah, that's all I did with the piano. And then for the effects that I add on it was a parametric EQ. So this is for the first piano with the chords. I just took out some harsh notes, softened up the highs, and then some of the lows as well. And then the second piano, I added another EQ, taking out some harsh frequencies around 600 hertz, softening more of the highs, and then taking out some of the lows. And then I added a reverb where I turned up some of the high cut, turned down the low cut, and then I turned up the wet a bit. And that's basically all I did for the piano. Alright, so the final thing I added for the melody was a vocal chop. So I went to Arcade, and basically it's the uncertain hooked preset. And from there, all I did was I just added this A note over here, which is this. Alright, very simple. That's all I did. And then for the effects I added on it were a parametric EQ, and I just scrolled through the presets, and then I just took out a bit of the highs and a lot of the lows as well. And then I added Valhalla Vintage Verb on the 1970s color on Concert Hall, and then I turned down the mix to 9.6%, and everything else I kept the same. And then I just turned down the mix level on the effects tab to 34%. And then for the entire mix, I did lower the volume a lot because I didn't want it to be too high. I wanted it to fall in the background a lot more. So that's all I did for the vocals, and that's basically all I did for the melody. Alright, so from there I just added some simple crib drums on top and called it a day. Alright, so the first thing I added was a clap, and this is how it plays like. Snare, hitting right before and after the clap. Then I added the hi-hats. So if you guys watch any of my tutorial videos, you already know I start off the hi-hat, I go up to the channel rack, I right click on the hi-hat channel, I go to fill in each two-step, click Control L on my keyboard to extend all of the notes, and then I start taking out some, adding some rolls, cutting them in half, and doing all that stuff. So basically this is the pattern that I started out with the hi-hats. So from there, I just played with the velocities to make it sound more realistic and everything like that. So then I added the first one. Second one, I chopped it in fourths so I can add a roll, and then I faded it in. Come back to C, B, A, and then C. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut this one in half, 1, 2, and then I just kind of copied and pasted it. So from there also, I changed the notes of the hi-hats to make it sound more realistic and make it more of a dramatic feel. And then at the end, I added a note falling from 2 bars. And then from there, I just cut it in fourths over here. And then it sounds like this. So basically all I did was then I just faded the velocities in and then faded them back out. And then I go to Control over here, and then I go to note pan, and then I just pan this side up and then this side down. And basically what that does is that it stereo shapes one side and pans it to one side of your headphone or speaker, and then the other side to the other side of the speaker. And then that's all I added for the hi-hats over there. And for the effects that I added on it was a fruity delay. And as always, I added the ping pong preset. I turned it down to 1%, and then I just turned down the mix level on the effects tab down to 76%. And that's all I did for the hi-hats. From there, I added the 808. I believe this is the Clarity 808 from Tri-Freeze's ATL Culture Drum Kit. Sounds like that. And then from there, this is how the pattern sounds like. Really, there's not much to explain here. Extremely simple pattern. I just follow the root notes of the melody as always, and then from here I kind of just add 2s each time. So basically I just give some space. I hit on one, hit on the second one, give a bar of space, 1, 2, as an accent note over here, hits on the third, another 2, and then 1, 2, and then I just kind of copied and pasted that. From there I added a more of a bass 808, and then that was just to fill up some more room as well. And basically this is how the pattern sounds like. It's the same exact thing as the other 808 pattern. And then basically for the effects that I added for it, the 808, all I do for the 808 itself is just add a limiter, and then I turn down the attack all the way down, turn down the release, and turn down the sustain. And then from there I play with the ceiling to get the kind of crunch sound that I like, that kind of distorted sound. And then I play with the saturation to help saturate that noise, and then I turn up the gain knob just to make it hit harder. From there, for the smooth 808, which is the more bassy one, I added no effects, and that's basically all I did for the drums. And then I just mixed and mastered everything, added some EQs on it, and then I just rearranged the beat and called it a day. Alright, so if you guys did get anything from this tutorial, please make sure to drop a like and sub down below. I do put my full beats down in my Instagram at prod_loyal, so if you guys want to go check it out, you're more than welcome to. And just stay tuned, because I'm gonna try to be posting every Saturday. So let's see how that goes. I'm working on my editing, trying to improve my video quality and all of that stuff. And I am coming out with a loop kit that's free to download. So just stay tuned for that. And with all that said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.